All right, guys, I'm so excited. My friend Baylee Littrell has stopped by the studio, fresh off his American Idol run. How you feeling?
I feel pretty good.
Yeah?
It feels good to be home. Feels good to settle back in and get back to enjoying this hot summer we're about to have.
Was that kind of crazy, though? Was it just constant running and doing things?
It was.
Yeah.
It was a lot. Definitely homesick that first leg. We got to come home for like a month and recoup, and then we went back out. And that one was definitely draining, but that first month run we were out there was insane. Yeah.
So I've known you for a while. I'm name dropping. But like you opened for the Backstreet Boys when they were here in Atlanta at State Farm Arena. You were on that stage in front of all those people. Were you nervous when you were doing your audition, or was it just like another meh?
I was terrified.
For real?
Oh, of course. It was I think it was the fear of judgment, you know.
Sure.
Like for me, I mean, obviously there's Luke and there's Carrie, which are both legends in their own right, but seeing like Lionel too, like I love Lionel Richie, so like seeing them up there, especially Lionel, just watching you, it was like the pressure was so on. It was one of those things where it was like, oh man. And so it definitely was probably one of the most nerve-wracking moments of my career.
So we only saw parts, like whatever they wanted us to see. Did Carrie really recognize, like say, you look familiar, or did she have an idea of who you were, or?
I thought script-wise they probably knew.
Yeah.
But apparently production told me they didn't tell anyone until
Really?
that moment. So they cut out a big segment of it. I got in the room and, I just introduced myself, and then they kind of cut it where it says, like, I'd say it, but I never said who I was.
Yeah.
And Carrie goes, she's like, you look familiar. And they keep that. And then she's like, do I know you? And I was like, I don't think so. And she's like, Luke said something, and then she interrupts him. She's like, do we go to church together? She's like, I've seen you at my church. And I was like, nope, we don't go to church together. And she was like, what is it? And then Luke's like, just tell us. And so then I said it.
Wow.
And then I was like, I didn't want to.
Well, yeah, does that, like, when you, because listen, this whole time I've known you, you never, like, have tried to ride on your dad's coattails. By the way, his dad is Baylee Littrell from the Backstreet Boys, if you don't know. But you wanted to do your own thing. Yeah. Did you think at that point in the audition, it was like, oh man, I didn't really want them to know?
Yeah, it was like here the monopolization starts, to be honest with you, because it was one of those things, because I had the producers even promised me too. I almost backed out like the week of filming the first audition, and I just said, like, I'm gonna walk, unless y'all like just focus on music and not it being about the whole Backstreet Boys stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, we promise. And so they said, do you want your dad to come in for the audition? And I was like, no, that's not gonna happen. And they're like, all right, we'll respect that wish. And immediately they're like, cue Brian, let's get Brian in. And I was like, and so Dad, like, when I open the door, I look at Dad and I'm like, and he looks at me and he's like,
here we go. But he smiled and he did it. And you sounded
looked
great.
Around, we're like, hey, yeah. It was
but you guys weren't the only family that had a famous, parents there. That was what I was like, well, Brian's not that big a deal. I mean, there's one of the Wilson Phillips chicks. So, I'm just kidding. Backstreet Boys are legendary, Brian. We love you. Just kidding. All right, let's talk about you, because from American Idol, you performed this song called Hey Jesus that has just come out. Download it today. Tell me about, like, do you think you would have released Hey Jesus, or it would be what it is today, had you not had the American Idol journey?
I really don't think so.
Yeah.
I had thought about cutting it multiple times. We never had. Like I wrote that song, and it was really just for me. It was for myself and my journey with faith. And then I started playing it at shows, and my family loved it, and like local shows around town loved it. But I never thought about it. And got to that second round, and I saw the competition. I saw how crazy it was. And I thought, if this is my last round, then I might as well sing this song, because it's meaningful. It's one that actually really, really means something. And it's the one song I performed on that show that I truly had my heart in. And so my mom reached out to me and she's like, you need to sing that song on the show. And I was like, I don't want to ruffle some feathers, I don't want it. And she goes, it's time to ruffle some feathers if you want to. And she's like, don't worry about that. And so she's like, if you feel in your heart that you want to sing it. And I was like, I do. And so it was, I was even more terrified going into every round than the previous round. And I'm not like that anymore. I'm like, what happened? And this time I got up there, I went to sing that song and my hands were trembling. And then all of a sudden I found peace in the moment. And that was my favorite part of the whole journey, was right there.
Wow.
So then as soon as that was sung and I saw the reception from my fellow contestants and stuff, I was like, man, this is a moment. And it was like, all right, this needs to be a moment for the world. And I want people to find Jesus if they haven't. I want them to find just courage in themselves, to believe in themselves. That's really what it's about. Mm-hmm. And I believe that this song can do that for people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is. It's one of those songs when you listen to it. We just had a performance where you played it live for a lot of our listeners and fans, and like we were all just tearing up because it makes you feel all kinds of different feelings depending on where you're at, right? In your relationship with the Lord. And I don't know, I appreciate you giving it to the world, because I know it was a very special song for you. I think, so when the Backstreet Boys were in Atlanta and they played State Farm, I think, and then we did they played Ameris Bank Amphitheater in Alpharetta, and we did like an after party with you and your dad, and there was one of the other one. AJ came, yeah. But did you sing that song there? Had you just written that? Because you played a song. It was right after your grandmother had passed away, and you played a song that you said, and
Sunshine.
It was Sunshine.
Sunshine. I thought, I might have played Hey Jesus that night, but I don't know.
No, I think it was Sunshine.
Sunshine?
Because that was for your grandma, right? Yeah. We're going to hear that one too. You going to record that one?
I'm going to record that one. I actually just wrote one about her like about a month ago as soon as I got home. And that one's probably my favorite song I've ever written. It's deep. It tells a story. So that one's also going to probably
Yeah. I cried when you first played that one, but
you
I knew what was going on, and I may have had a drink or two. So I got emotional. All right, well, what is next? We've got the new single, Hey Jesus, out. What is Baylee Littrell going to do now?
We're going to get a tour in place for later this summer, early fall, which I'm really excited about. So we're going to be, I don't want to release like locations yet, but Southeast, staying in the South for that. And then eventually we're going to take it out to the West Coast.
Well, you have fans that will travel, because we are in Atlanta right now, and you just had people fly in from Germany to see you.
It was so amazing.
That's amazing. That is an amazing fan base, and it's, it shows how good you are to your fans too, that they're going to do that. They're going to follow you. All right. So, are we going to have an album?
I want an album by the end of this year.
Okay.
Definitely ready. So. I would love to shoot for fall, but we'll see. I'm going to say probably around my birthday time is when I could see something being completed.
Well, and you were telling me earlier, you wrote some songs when you were actually on the Idol set.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It was like a 3-day span. I wrote 13 songs.
Jeez.
And it was...
I thought you were busy.
I've never experienced anything like that. It was a lot of sit and wait, and it was a lot of like, our call time would be 7 a.m. and sometimes they wouldn't need you until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And so you're like, can I go home? And they're like, no, we want to make sure you're not running off the set. And so they just had to keep everyone contained.
Oh.
So I was in that room and I sat there and I was like, I've been in a writer's rut. And so then I laughed to myself like, oh yeah, why don't you write a song? That'd be funny. And then all of a sudden I'm like, 1, 2, 3, oh my gosh. And it just kept spinning more ideas. I'm telling you, the biggest tip for songwriting to me is get a journal. Literally write it down. Don't sing on your phone in notes or record it. Like actually write the words down in a journal and do it old school. And it helps so much.
That's awesome.
So that's what I did. I sat there and I had half a journal full of songs, and I loved it.
We're gonna call the album "The American Idol."
The
Thoughts
American.
from American Idol or something like that. Well, Baylee Littrell, you guys download the song. It's called Hey Jesus. It's everywhere now. It's fantastic. I'm very proud of you, and I'm very honored to say that you and I have been friends for a long time, and I appreciate you still, knowing me after you're now big American Idol stardom there.
Thank you so much for having me on. It's seriously the best feeling to come home and know I have you guys to come to for these things, and so it means the world.
Yeah,
it means the world.